did when he won tournament MVP in 2013. That's how good he's been. And the Swiss defense and goaltending, I guess they go hand in hand, was phenomenal yesterday against Canada.
No question. The defense helps the goaltender. Leonardo Giannone was tremendous against Canada, especially the final two periods. He can win games on his own. He's a seven-time champion in the national.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome back to On the Fly. We are here today for Czechs and Switzerland gold medal action from the IIHF World Championship. If you are in the chat, be sure to say hi. Let me know who you're cheering for tonight, as we will slowly get started today. About 15-ish minutes till puck drop. So be sure to vote in the poll who you think will win. As well, let us know in the chat who you will be cheering for today. But, of course, it's going to be a good one. Two teams battling it out. Always a pleasure when you get to see a team on home ice go for the gold medal. The Czechs today, I mean, you got to count them as the favorite, right? They're a team that's just looked really, really good so far. We'll see if they can continue their success, but it's going to be an interesting one here. Be sure to say hi in the chat, and let me know who you are cheering for. It's going to be a good one today. Some news from yesterday into today. Jan Ruda, the defender for Czechia, is going to be out in this one. I think when we look at it, might be a little bit of a tough loss when we look at a team like, what's up? Should I make a song again this time? You know it, Reed. Always encouraged for a little bit of singing, right?
I don't know.
You always gotta have a little bit of singing in this one in order to make it just that much better. And we also had earlier today Canada play Sweden, and for those that watched it, yeah, that was a rough one, I think, to put it nicely. Tough game to watch. Sadly, Finland was eliminated early. Yeah, you know, they were a team that was right up there with Sweden, right? They played their game and they forced it. Just fortunately couldn't find the back of the net when they needed to, and just one of those games. I think we can all agree here. I think most of our teams are out at this point. If we have any Czechs or Switzerland people, yep. Yeah, Mark, you know it, buddy. It's all about the Bruins at this point. I've taken down all the Bruins jerseys because I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible. You know, you're wearing the old Canada jersey. You got the other Canada stuff behind us here. So, I mean, I think in my heart as a Bruins fan, I have to cheer for the Czechs here. You look at it, you got Pastrnak and Zacha, two guys that have really added to this core and have really provided that offensive punch that you're looking for. It's going to be a good game here. I think it really could go either way. We're about 10-ish minutes off a puck drop here now, but it's one of those games, right, where it's going to be a good one as well. If you are new, please subscribe. We're, I think, about 8 subscribers as the start of this stream from hitting our goal of 500. So if you have not already, please subscribe. Helps a lot, and it helps get the channel out to more people as well. Please like, as that will also help more people come in here and get to laugh at the Canadian whose team is out. With all that being said, we are just about here at puck drop. So I heard coach will change next year. Yeah, I think that's a lot of that going around though, right? When you look at it, this tournament has sort of shown a little bit, especially as we move along to the Olympics, right? You have the Olympics in 2 more years. We saw it with Canada this past game, and they just looked terrible, frankly. And obviously they don't have their star power. I'd almost argue none of that team is going to be who's representing Canada at the Olympics, right, when you look at it. But the goaltending for Canada is always going to be the problem, and it's just one of the unfortunate parts about how Canada is built, especially in their country, is goaltending isn't really pushed upon. Hischier and Josi versus Zacha and Pastrnak going to be a battle, absolutely, and it's going to be a great battle. I think, you know, it's one of those battles where could probably go either way, but it's going to be a good game. And, you know, Switzerland has been red hot lately, and they've won the games that they needed to, right? And that's always what you look for at these tournaments, is are they going to be able to step up and provide that offensive punch? And, you know, Zacha scored the only goal against the U.S. to push them over the edge. You know, the last game for the Czechs and Sweden just looked like that offensive team of old. So we'll see if they can continue that success here. I think, you know, we look at it, keys to success for Switzerland is you got to take the crowd out early. We talked about this in yesterday's recap and preview video. the trick, if you're going to be able to beat a team on home ice, is you can't really play that trap style that we've seen so often from the Swiss. And that works just so well, because at the end of the day, you're going to give the crowd a lot of momentum. When the Czechs have momentum, it tends to be a little bit of a game over situation for either team. So it's going to be an interesting game here. I think when we look at it, it's a very evenly matched two teams here. Both, I wouldn't really give on paper either team the definite edge, but we have two goalies that have been red hot. We'll see if that can continue. Both guys are on back-to-back, so we'll see if that has any impact. We saw it a little bit today with Binnington, who sort of just looked a little bit lost in his net, if you want to say that, but you could tell he was starting to wear down in that net. There was probably 2 or 3 goals that you could likely blame on him. There was the empty net too. So, of course, when you look at it, coming off a back-to-back is very tough for a goaltender to try and find his way through. We'll see here whether or not there's going to be anything else that's going to really push it, but nonetheless, it's going to be a great game. And I think, at the end of the day, these two teams are really solid, and it's going to be really interesting to see, who sort of takes it to that next step, as they're now showing the highlights of the Czechs winning back in the day. So we'll see if they can continue that success. Obviously, I always like to make this joke that as soon as Canada gets knocked out, the viewership goes down. But at the same time, this is the kind of tournament that sort of gets lost a little bit in North America. I talked about this in that first video that I made on this tournament. It's just one of those tournaments, right? You have the NHL competing with it. So for North American fans, it's tough to watch. And then on the other side of the table, right, you have the European fans who are all over this event and really help boost the numbers. It's sort of the opposite with the juniors, right? So with that being said, it's going to be an interesting game, I think. And both teams are going to play, in my opinion, really solid. It's just going to come down to who can set the tone first. I think this first goal is going to really decide the way this game's going to move. Whoever it might be is going to be the trick. Time will tell on that one. 7-ish minutes away from puck drop. So if you are new here, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. Unless we've already hit it, I don't really know because it doesn't show up on this one. But please, if you have not already, make sure to hit subscribe. Helps the channel out a ton. As well, hit the like button so we can reach more people. Get a lot more, both Switzerland, Czechia, Canada, sad Canada fans, sad US fans, so we can all make fun of the US fans. But please do hit the like button. It helps a ton for the channel. But with that, we are now still 7 minutes away. So we are just waiting for puck drop here. But pregame predictions, if you have any, be sure to drop it in the comments below for a chance at a shout out. We'll shout you out in the post video, the recap video, if you do guess it right. So be sure to drop your thoughts down below, and we'll see sort of what goes on there. But they are sort of rewinding now, showing some of the highlights from the tournament. And now they're showing Great Britain. And that was a team this tournament that I was really impressed with. And they're one of those teams where year after year they're good, but are they that good, right? Like, they're always sort of in that trap style. They keep teams close. But this year I was really impressed with how well they played. It just seemed, just down at a post trying to get, awesome, Mark. Thank you, my friend. But they've always been a team that have sort of fought both ways. They're not a team that's going to blow you away, but they're a team that's going to keep it close. In this tournament, they were just, one key goal away from both sides making it that far, making it and staying away from relegation. But unfortunately for them, they will be relegated. Poland was the other team that was relegated. Bedard was barely getting ice time when Canada was still in. Yeah, that's been a little bit of a storyline at this tournament. He was a player that, I don't want to say didn't play well, but he really wasn't playing well. He took a couple bad penalties, and a guy like Tournier isn't going to reward those kind of mistakes, right? Which is a sort of a key point of emphasis for a lot of these teams. They're not going to reward bad efforts. They want to see the best out of their players. So with that being said, it's difficult to play a guy like Bedard when he's taking bad penalties. He almost costed Canada a spot at the semis. Think back to that quarterfinal against Slovakia. He put them on the 5-on-3. They nearly scored twice, which would have knocked Canada out. So just one of those tough tough moves. And then the U.S. was another sort of shock from this tournament. Just one of those unfortunate games, whether or not they could do it. Just couldn't really find the back of the net against the Czechs. And, I mean, Dostal played a huge part in that, but just, that's the way the Czechs play. They limit shots to the middle of the ice, which, to be honest, is exactly what you need to do, right? So one of those games, just well executed, just couldn't quite find the back of the net as they show the upcoming hosts. So you have Stockholm and Denmark, for basically Sweden and Denmark, Switzerland, Germany, and then France, which will be a good one. Assuming France can stay up in the top group for as long as that happens. But, of course, time will tell on that one. We are 4 minutes away from puck drop in this one, so stay tuned. Lots of action. He was treating like a 2-week hockey camp. Yeah, and that's what we tend to see from a lot of these North American teams, right? And it's just the World Championship doesn't have the same ring in Canada and the U.S. as it does in these European countries. And I don't want to make excuses for them. Obviously, it's still an international competition, right? But it's not the best of the best where, the Olympics are. Like, that's always a big tournament in North America. The juniors have been a huge tournament the last couple of years. So it's just tough. It's tough to say for sure that they're going to care as much as, say, an Olympic event. But I will say, Bedard did not show himself well for the 26 Olympics. If that's the way he's going to play, there is a precedent to keep up. You're representing Canada at a IIHF event. You got to bring it, or else you're going to get cut. At some point, he's gonna regret that move, I think. Whether that be the 26 Olympics, whether that be next year's World Championship team, because no offense to the Blackhawks, but I don't see them making the playoffs next year, so we'll likely see him at least have a shot to crack the roster. That'll be an interesting one to keep note of as well. But the truth is here, they're a team that sort of has the potential to go far. They have the assets. It's just a matter of if they can win the games that matter. And we've seen it, sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. So we'll see if whether or not they can, sort of take that next level and make it as far as they need to. But it will be an interesting one nonetheless. We are now, I believe, 2 minutes away from puck drop, so we should be getting puck drop shortly here. 2:20, and here come the teams. This is going to be a good one, folks. Definitely stay tuned as we got two really solid teams. You got the home ice team with the Czechs, momentum feeders. We've seen them play outstanding all tournament long. You got guys like Zaka, Pasternak. You got a whole bunch of different guys. You got Marty Nakis, who's probably going to be a Bruin in a couple weeks too. He's a guy I'm definitely looking at to really take Boston to that next level. It will be an interesting one. On the other side, you got guys like Yossi. You got a whole bunch of different guys. You got a guy like Heischer. It's going to be an interesting matchup, I think. Both these teams have played really well as of late, and I'll be curious to see if they can bring that momentum into the final here. For Switzerland, you got to play early. You got to beat teams to the puck. If you're not going to be able to basically take the momentum out of the building for the Czechs, you're going to have problems in this game. It's going to be an interesting one here. We got about a minute left till puck drop. This is going to be a good game. Teams going through the handshake line as we are moving it along. So I got the golden horseshoe here of stuff. We'll see if Giannoni can figure it out in net for the Swiss. We'll see if Lucas Dostal can continue his success for the Czechs. It is going to be a good one, folks. Stay tuned. We are moments away from puck drop now, as we are very close to seeing what this World Championship gold medal game is going to do. And so if you are new here, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the like button. Helps to get the stream get out to more people. As well, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We are a couple subscribers away from 500, so please do subscribe. But with that, we are just about at puck drop now. We are 2:20 Eastern Standard Time. Gold medal game, Czechia and Switzerland, and we are about to get underway. This is going to be a good one. Here we go. Life, na 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 na. Life is life, na 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 na. Here we go. Puck has dropped and we are underway in Prague. This is going to be a good one, folks. Stay tuned for some... Oh, and he already took a spill. We already got one guy down in the corner, but this is going to be a good one. We have two teams battling it out for the gold medal. Tensions will be high as always, and we'll see if there's anything that these two teams can pull out that we haven't seen yet. Swiss have looked good early, keeping the oh, and good save by Dostal early. We'll see if he can continue that success. He's going to be a crucial part if Czechia wants any shot at winning this game. As we move it along here, it is going to be a good one here, folks. So stay tuned. Lots of good hockey still to be played. There's Marty. Just gets the puck poked off of him here as the Swiss regroup in their own end. Also, if you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, helps the channel get out, and let me know in the comments who you think is going to win, as well as your predictions before the first goal gets scored, and you will have a chance to be entered for a shout out if you do guess it correctly in our recap video. So be sure to like and comment. But you know, Switzerland has looked good early. They got a really solid chance that Hischier just couldn't put in the back of the net. Just showing it on replay now. You know, that was it's one of those. You need to put pucks in the back. And then, of course, it's Radko Gudas on the defensive end for the tough team. So this is going to be a good one. Stay tuned on this. It's the Czech crowd. You can hear them. They're slowly starting to get into it. This is the kind of stuff that if you're Switzerland, you got to avoid as best you can. You don't want this crowd getting going, or else it's all over for you. I always like to compare it to like the Leafs, right? Where you know when the Leafs are playing well because their crowd is in it. But if you can take that crowd out, especially early, then it's just night and day difference. It's good defensive zone move or offensive zone movement for the Czechs here. They're slowly starting to build up, and a giveaway in there on the offensive end. Switzerland will dump and change here. So move it along to the 18-minute mark left in the first period. These two teams have been pretty solid lately. We'll see if Czechia can really take that. We think back to what Czechia has done in the last couple tournaments. You know, the juniors, they knocked Canada off. This one, they knocked the U.S. off. This is a hockey nation that's slowly but surely returning to the years of old. You know, they're a team that's, ooh, big hit. You got to be careful, especially in these medal games. The refs will look for anything they can try and help other teams with, because it's all about setting the precedent early. If you're going to call a lot in a game, you got to call it both ways. But I expect, especially with all the scrutiny that the refs have been getting in this tournament so far, there's not going to be many. The Czechs have looked pretty good so far. You know, this was one of the keys to the game, is early and often for the Czechs, use their crowd to their advantage. And this is one of the tough parts, right? When we look at a team like Switzerland, what they do is they play that neutral zone trap. The whole goal of the neutral zone trap is to keep pucks out of the part of the ice that tends to be scored, which is your middle. The problem with it, of course, is that if you're... Oh, here you go. Oh, no. Just lost the puck off the end, and Pasternak gets absolutely smashed. That one looks familiar as a Bruins fan. No icing on that as they move it, as the Swiss bring it up to their blue line here. Dump and chase. That's good for the Swiss. Exactly what you want to be looking for. Big hit. But the Czechs pick it up and they carry it out through the neutral zone. Here you go. Comes Fiala one-on-one. Fiala one-on-one. Brings it in. Oh, and off the crossbar on that one. Good save by Dostal. Good. It's been a good start to this game for both sides. Both teams have had their chances. Switzerland has had a couple good looks early. Jonas Siegenthaler does collect the puck behind his own net as he moves it up here. Dumps and chases. Just gets the red line by a smidge. But we'll see here. Oh, he got lucky on that one. Switzerland player just tripped a Czech without him being close to the puck. Could have been a messy one there. Good Kasha. Former Bruin as well. When we look at it, you know, lots of Bruins represented at this tournament. Especially thanks to their early elimination. Oh, and just through the middle of the ice. Tough miss from the Czechs. I believe that was Kasha in the slot. Fortunately, could not get the stick on the puck and put it into the empty cage. We are here 15 minutes, 5 minutes in to the first period of the gold medal game between Switzerland and Czechia. This has been an excellent game so far. I mean, both these teams have been... Oh, that is going to be ruled icing. I don't agree with that. But I mean, let's be honest here. They don't want to be the refs never want to be the reason for a goal. So at the end of the day, if they're going to be, more conservative with their calls, we'll take it as long as it goes both ways and it's a good hockey game. If you are new here, be sure to drop in the chat who you are cheering for. As well, be sure to like and subscribe. We are closing in on 500 subscribers, so please, 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 if you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps a ton. Oh, and just missed say, we are 6 subscribers away from 500 on YouTube, so please, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe. So weird play at the boards there. I'm not sure if that went out or not, but just remember, we've seen it a bunch of times at this tournament with a couple too many men's. We think back to yesterday's game. It was one of those, right, where it was just a weird game between Canada and Switzerland. You had too many men penalties back to back in one was a carryover into overtime. The other one was an overtime penalty, but you don't see that one very often, especially as he gets worked over and Switzerland gets worked over in the corner there in the offensive zone. We are down to 14 minutes. Good save here. Oh no, never mind. Point shot never got through. Good block out from the Czechs. They're looking to play their system early, which is always what you want to see. We talked about it in yesterday's preview, whether or not that more or less their ability to play their structure was going to impact this game at all. They've looked good thus far, so we'll see if they can continue that success. It'll be an interesting one here, or if they decide to get a little bit more risky with it, right? Because Switzerland's one of those teams where each year, depends. If you're a goaltender, 10 the goal. Got to be careful. Puck played right out. Oh, and a shot, a tip in front. Saved by Giannoni. Czechs buzzing early. Up to the slot area. Cleared out by Switzerland. That one was a close one. That could have been really bad. Czechs were buzzing there. Lots of solid chances. This one is going to be an interesting one because we have 2 hot goaltenders. It's really, I think, at the end of the day, comes down to who will score first. Will really determine how this game will go. Could even come down to who takes the bad penalties. So we'll see here. There's Yossi. Good hit. Separate the body from the puck exactly as it is supposed to be done. Good hit up front. As they cycle the puck around. Switzerland in their own defensive end will move it along here to the middle of the ice. A little dump up. Switzerland controls in the offensive zone, dumps and chases. We move into 12 minutes left in the first period of the gold medal game. Of course, you can feel the tension in the air and as they got very close to a too many men penalty on that one. That one was an interesting. No icing called. Well, the goaltender Giannoni seemed to think so. Oh, here come the Czechs. 1-on-2 into the offensive zone. Good. As once again, seen that Switzerland has played some pretty good defensive hockey to this point. As they tie it up into the corner here. So they move it along. Here comes Herzog, and he dumps and chases. So Switzerland, once again, you sort of see it. They're committing to their structure here. Get the puck in deep and chase. It's exactly what they need to be doing if they want any shot at taking this game over. But you need that first goal, and bad. Here comes Pasta to Zaka to Palat. Oh, what a save by Gioni. Oh, what a save. What a save. Comes sliding across. Bing, bang, boom. Just could not find the back of the net. Gorgeous play. It's exactly what the Czechs need to be doing in this one. They're a team that prides itself on their structure, their commitment to their structure. And that's why guys like, Pasternak and Zaka, Kasha, all these players that have been through the Bruins system are just so apt to play with this team, because they know the structure, they stick to it exactly as it should. We are into the first period break here. So TV timeout. So we'll give the first sort of thoughts on this game so far. The Czechs have looked pretty good to this point. This is what I'll say. At the end of the day, though, you need to find your groove, and you need to find it quickly if you're Switzerland. They've had good looks, but the truth is you got to be really good, especially against the Czechs who are on home ice. Gioni has to be great. At the end of the day, that's just how it works. But also, if you're the Czech or Swiss, you have to take the Czechs out of it, which means sort of capitalizing on chances and getting a goal rather early here. Because the longer this game goes on, the more this crowd's going to get into it, and the more momentum Czechia is going to get. Oh, how is everyone doing in our chat today? If you guys voted in the poll, make sure to do so. We currently have Czechia favored 72% to 28% as well. Let me know who you are cheering for in the chat. As there was a little cross check, good separation from the puck. And this is their collapsing style. We've seen this one with the Swiss, especially late, and it worked really well against Canada. That could have been offside there. It was a tough line play by the looks of it, but no call. And up front, he sure hits the post with the shot. Dostal is up to the challenge. But that was one of those, right, where we look at it. You got to try and get as many of those as possible, especially early. You don't want Dostal to get comfy in net, or Dostal, or whatever I'm supposed to pronounce it as. It's Dostal to me. If you guys can find the phonetic spelling, I like those. I'm kidding. So good dump and chase. Oh boy. Oof. Sedlak almost had that one. Are they going to another TV timeout? They're going to another TV timeout about, I think, 1 minute or 2 minutes after they went to their last one, which is okay. We'll let it be. We're not going to judge. Sort of unfortunate, but what are we watching in commercials today? But I guess we'll continue talking about what we were just talking about. For Czechia, we talked about Switzerland in the last period break. Let's talk about it in this one. The Czechs are a team that has to sort of just, 0-0 is great for the Czechs. You're on home ice. You have the crowd behind you. 1-0 for you is really good. You just don't want to let up the first one. If you can continue your success from the previous games, we saw it with that U.S. game. As much as the score was 1-0, the longer that game went on, you could just tell that the Czechs had it. Conversely, same thing with the Sweden game. It was, they went down early, they battled back. They went down again, the crowd seemed a little bit steady, and then it went bang, 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 bang. And that's what you have to do as Czechia, is use your crowd's momentum to your advantage. Don't let the moment get too big for you, and you'll do just fine. And that's the trick to a lot of these games, on whether or not you can take that next level, to really take your team to that next level. As the Swiss carry it out into the offensive zone, shot is wide. Defenseman gets tied up, but it's okay as they move it along here. Dump and chase for the Swiss. So we are in about halfway through this game to this point, which is always always sort of a telltale sign. And what I'll say is there really hasn't been anyone that's what I would say looked better than others. You know, they've both had their looks, just haven't quite been able to finish to this point. Oh, so we have an offensive good save by Dostal on that one. As we're into a pushing match already, you know, this is one of the things I am curious about is how are these refs going to call this game? Are they going to try and keep it civilized, or are they really going to try and push the pace and let these two teams fight it out to the very end and not call anything? Because that's how I think it should be. You know, if you think about it, there are two teams. They want to go for each other's throats. It's the gold medal game. You don't want to be the reason why, you know, a team gets knocked out. We've seen that be a problem time and time again. So we will see if anything goes on here. Going to be an interesting one. But so dump it out to the blue line. Oh, good hit. Yossi separates the body from the puck. As Swiss move it up, dump in little tip play at the blue line. Now let's see if they can recover the puck. And they, give away, but carried out by Switzerland. Skudis now will play the puck behind his own net. The Czechs regroup, change it up. 8.5 to go in the first period. This has been a this has been a game that I'd say I'd expected to this point. You know, no team that's really taken it to that next level. Gioni covers up from the red line. Good save on that one. Always a tough one when you get a shot from really far out, just to be able to track it all the way in. We've seen this game. It's been a tight checking game. Tomasek with a huge hit. But as they try and get into another fight here. That's the trick to this for both teams, is stay disciplined, but also don't take anything that you don't want, right? So Niederreiter passes it to the point. Point shot. Could not get through for Natchez. There you go. Dump and chase for the Czechs. The Czechs move it in here. Oh, and the Czechs recover in the offensive zone. Cycles to the point, but loses it on the blue line. Back into the neutral zone. So Czechs regroup. Switzerland picks it off in the neutral zone. Move it into 8 minutes to play in the first period. This one has been a good one, as Switzerland will recover and set up behind their own net, slowing down the pace, trying to take this crowd out of it. You can hear it. The crowd is slowly but surely getting into this game as they run as he hits the net on the long dump in from his own blue line. Normally you saw that play from the Bruins and the Leafs in that final, the Game 7 of the first round, the little dump play from the blue line, and it works, right? It's tough to defend because you got to spin around and find your way through. Cycles back up to the point for Switzerland as they collect behind their own net. Oh, Pasternak carries it out through the blue line. Here comes Pasternak with the hit, but he still recovers the puck to the blue line. Oh, good save. Oh, and just runs him over. Zaka with the absolute tank on that one. As the Swiss will pull the puck out, dumping it into the offensive zone. It's been a good stretch of play for both teams here. Really hasn't been a favorite, I'd say, to this point. Oh, and just wide shot for the Czechs. But once again, picks it off behind the net, shoots! Oh, and saved by Gioni. That's offside. 6:13 to play in the first period, and it's been a really good game to this point, you know. And a great block shot from the blue line. Zaka shoves the guy into the boards, which is exactly what you want to see from him. You know, playing that physical style, coming back from an NHL playoffs where you had to play against teams like Florida and Toronto. You're going to be a little aggressive with it, I think. So good to see him back playing that physical style that we're used to seeing from them. Switzerland wins the draw, takes it back to the defense. They skate it up, dumps it in to the corner, cycles around for the Czechs. Czechs recover. Oh, but the Switzerland picks it off at the blue line, dumps it back in. Here comes the Swiss. Shot saved by Dostal into the bread basket as there's more extra activity in front of the net, which, I mean, once again, that's kind of what you want to see. If you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe. We are a couple subscribers away now from 500 subscribers on YouTube, so please, please, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let me know who you think, or who you're cheering for in the chat, and let me know who you think is going to win in the poll. We got ourselves a pretty good game to this point. I wouldn't say any teams looked better than other to this point, but once again, we talked about it. The more momentum a team like Czechia can get, the tougher it's going to be to beat them. So we'll see if that becomes a problem. They've shown it throughout this entire tournament that home ice is an advantage in this tournament. So, when we look at it, this one is really to decide, sort of set the tone for the Olympics almost. Next year more than this year, but this year too, What teams that are going to really come out of nowhere at this Olympic tournament, because who's going to be with Canada. You can probably draw a name to most of them, whether that be McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon. But at the end of the day, teams like the Czechs have a lot of players that a lot of North American fans at least don't really know about. And this is what I really like about this tournament, as much as, it gets predictable after a while, is that it sort of introduces you, as much as same with the juniors, it introduces you to the new players that are going to be taking that stage in a year's time, in 2 years' time, and really helping the team to victory. And these kind of tournaments can really help you out in your career. Oh boy, and almost gives it away in front of his own net. Could have led to a problem for the Swiss. As Switzerland now carries it out, dumps it into the corner. Czechs do recover, pass it along the end boards. Defensive push. Defense does pick it off for the Swiss. Turns over, shot, blocked. Rimmed around the boards for Switzerland here. Good, and the Czechs do recover the puck here as they will move it up with 5 minutes to play left in the first period. We'll see if there's any late minute heroics here for either side. As the Czechs do work it around in the corner. This has been sort of what we've seen from their style to this point. They've been a little bit more free in the last couple games, but they must have found a weakness in the Swiss to the point. Oh, tipped out in front, but no goal, as Kosh might have just got kneed in the head. He's a guy with concussion history in the past, so hopefully he didn't get it there. But point shot, tipped out in front, but Gioni is up to the task and saves that one, keeping this game at 0s. Good start to this one, though, for both teams. And, honestly, there hasn't really been a team that, in my opinion, has looked better than others. They've been two teams very evenly matched to this point, which is what you want to see from either side. Passes it out to shot, point, save by Gioni. And once again, we've seen it time and time again. The Czechs slowly start to build their momentum as games get close and pasted. Gudas just got pasted into the boards there. That's lucky that wasn't a board, because it was, right on the numbers, follow through and all. Got to be careful with that one. As the Czechs dump it out to neutral ice. Switzerland picks it up. We are down 4 minutes left in the first period. We still have a 0-0 hockey game in this gold medal game, IIHF World Championships. You really can't ask for much more than that. Just a good old-fashioned hockey game. But we will see here. Passes it in. Voracek. That's not Voracek. Is it Voracek? I'm going to keep mixing him up, but the old 93 in the Czech uniform. I'm pretty sure it is. Looks like him. Plays like him. No, that's Stransky. Cycles it around. Oh, and there we go. Moving it up here. Switzerland takes it over. Berschke hits the post with the shot. Can't quite find it. As there's another chance, right? For the Swiss. You got to score early and often. And, oh, here comes the Czechs. Czechs pick it off. 3-on-2. Shot from the point blocked. Cleared out as the Czechs do recover. 3 minutes to play now left in the first period. As this one's been a good game. Czechs do set up behind their own net. Oh, stretch pass to the middle of the ice. Kasha. Shot. Save by Gioni. Swiss netminders look good as Switzerland forgot the puck on that. Oh, good play. Cervenka to Kasha. As they do collect, as Switzerland recollects the puck here, sets up behind their own net. These are the kind of things you like to see if you're, a team like, both countries, to be honest. It looks both ways because, here we go. Palat picks off Pasternak on the end boards, passes it into the defenseman's skates, and will be cleared out. Here comes Palat. Dumps. Palat will collect behind the net. But nope, he gets knocked off the puck. Pasternak does recollect, though, in the corner as he moves it along. Pasternak. Oh, and Pasternak is decked, but Zaka could not find the back of the net there. So Pasternak got absolutely smoked, but found its way onto Zaka's stick. 1 minute and 15 seconds left. I think Pasternak kind of forgot. He's not in the NHL anymore. He ain't protected in this league. There ain't no fighting that you got to worry about if you're an opposing player, as Dostal will pick up the puck and freeze it for the whistle, as we will move once again to another period break. Oh, maybe we won't move to a period break. I think they're going, and Berschke just hit the post. Couldn't find it. Pasternak got decked on that one play by Herzog as he breaks his stick. That's how hard he hit him. Shoulder into body, and just the sheer force of it knocked Pasternak down. Although it did find its way onto Zaka's stick, who then shot it. So, interesting play there. If you are new here, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel out. And so please, 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 if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and like, as well as comment who you think is going to win this game. If you still have any score predictions, feel free to drop it in the comments below. And who you're cheering for as well. So there's a delayed offside here as we enter the final minute of play in the first period. All right, Natchez moves it along. Back out, cycled out to the defenseman. 45 seconds left to go in the first period here. So it's been a solid game so far with 35 seconds to go. We will see. Good hit. Oh, who got it? Oh, offside. No penalty on that one. About 30 seconds left to go following the offside call. But this game has been real physical. They're showing some of the highlight clips now, Everyone, as much as they are clean, they got to keep their heads up because, and a guy went flying into the bench. Did not see that one. It's been a physical game for both sides, so we'll see if that continues into the second period and see if there's any goals here in the final 30 seconds of this game. Cleared along, passed it through. Here comes Hischer. Hischer alone. Passes it wide, shoots, shot. Oh, looked a little awkward on the save for that one, as Hischer will lose the puck in the corner. Cervenka, Kasha, he's got Kasha in front. Nope, and no goal, as that will conclude the first period of action. It's It's been quite the game so far. This one is not in the right place. But with that being said, it has been a solid game to this point. And it's been one of those games, right, where both teams have looked solid. And I think in hindsight, you know, there are two teams that are going to fight their way out in this game. And we'll see if there's any sort of more or less fallout from the crowd. The crowd has been a huge point of emphasis in this tournament. The Czechs have really found their way in it, in my opinion, and they've looked really solid. So we'll see if that can continue here. I think in hindsight, you know, if you're the Swiss, you'd like to have a goal, but of course, easier said than done. And I think in general, a team like the Czechs are going to really rely upon that crowd to really take them to the next level. You know, you saw it in that U.S. game. You saw it in that Sweden game. If they can get the wheels rolling, it's all downhill, and they're just going to glide to victory. For Switzerland, they got to go against the grain here. They got to get a goal before the Czechs do, because once that crowd's into it, once they got the crowd behind them, once they got momentum, once they got belief, the Czechs are going to take this one. But if you are new here, of course, please do hit the like button. It helps get the stream out to more people, and maybe we can get a couple American fans in here to really laugh at them for being first-round exits, just like our beloved Maple Leafs. But, of course, we'll talk about now. First intermission has come to a close, and my talking point for this one is going to be about the game today between your favorite team, Canada, and Sweden. So you might remember yesterday, and I included it in the recap video, about what was going on with these graphics. You can see them here. You know, they look okay. The end part is a little bit wonky, but in general, you know, we were working on these. And I made the mistake, and I know there's rule one, is never pick a team, because whoever team you pick is going to get eliminated. And sure enough, I mean, I picked Canada and Sweden, which, to my view, aren't either of these teams. So, to my friends from Sweden and my friends from Canada, I apologize. This is entirely on me. But at the same time, let's talk about the game today. Bronze medal action from the World Hockey Championship. And it was one of those games where you could just kind of tell neither team really wanted to be there. I mean, you know, there was a couple of good plays. You know, Binnington coming off a back-to-back looked like Jordan Binnington does. You know, he didn't look good. He didn't look like Jordan Binnington of 2019 where he made that cup run, which is unfortunate. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a problem for Canada. The Olympics coming up, or just in general, but their goaltending has always been a little bit testy. You know, they're not a team who prides themselves on goaltending, and I don't think they really ever will be. You know, you had the years of Brodeur, Price. That's really it, to be honest. Like Patrick Waugh, I guess, but you know, the goaltending has never been a key to success for these teams. It's always been the offensive touch, right? When you think about Canadian hockey players, the first ones that come to your mind: Crosby, McDavid, well, for me, PK Subban, right? Like the players that are on either the offense, the defense, not necessarily your goaltending. For me, Price does come to mind, but in general, you know, the goaltending isn't that main focal point. You think about even Canadians from years past. You got Gretzky, right? Lemieux, all these different players that just aren't goaltenders. And so aside from, let's think about even Canadian goaltending for the Olympics coming up. You got a guy like Aiden Hill. Is he to the level of, let's think about some of the other teams they'll be competing against? You know, teams like the Americans with Hellebuck and Swayman, or teams like Sweden where you have guys like Allmark, or, you know, the list goes on and on. And unfortunately, they don't compare at all. But where they do have that advantage is in their offensive touch. They got some of the best offensive players in the world. They're 4 lines deep of players. They're 3 lines defensive deep. And they got room to grow as well. So, in my opinion, you have the best offensive player in the world. You should probably have the best 3. You have the best defenseman. So now it just becomes, what are you going to do with it, right? But it's still, the goaltending is the biggest problem, which is just a little side rant at the end of the day, because where I'm going to this is the goaltending today was atrocious for Canada. Binnington, the goals he let in, as much as they were defensive mistakes, they should have been stopped. There was one that was like a weird flippy one that he never even looked at, couldn't find in the skates. But at the end of the day, you have to find a way to take it to the next level and really separate yourself. Unfortunately, could not. Your end result, obviously, is Canada losing the bronze medal today. But as I mentioned yesterday, for Canada coming into this kind of tournament, the medal, as much as it'd be nice, doesn't mean that much, especially as a North American team. I always like to make this comparison because a lot of my international viewers don't really recognize that for a lot of Canadians, at least, not all of them, I don't want to put words into people's mouths, but it doesn't mean as much to Canadians and Americans that might mean to the international, like the European teams, just because of you got the NHL playoffs going on. For me, that's the one that normally takes up most of my attention, and not to mention it's kind of just a boring tournament, especially through the round robin, because there's just so many games to watch, and where you can watch a 7-game series in the playoffs, where normally I'll go 5 or 6 games, so it's always important. But that's not where I'm coming with this one. Obviously, this is a great tournament, and I do always love to watch, especially the playoffs of this tournament, because really anything can happen. We had two upsets in the semifinals. The 2 games were upsets, where Czechia knocked off the undefeated Sweden, and Switzerland knocked off Canada. But you also look back to the round before that, where Czechs knocked off the U.S. Switzerland beat Germany, which wasn't necessarily an upset per se, but it was still one of those games where you wouldn't really expect that from these kind of teams. So it's just kind of a little bit interesting, right? Whether or not they can take that next step. And then if you're looking at individual efforts from that game, I know a lot of people have been talking, why didn't you play Bedard? Why didn't you play Bedard? But the truth is, and this is what a lot of people don't really recognize, is your actions in hockey have consequences. Think back to the Slovakia game, the quarterfinal game, where there was a 5-on-3 penalty. So it was a 5-on-4, there was a trip, whatever, end of story. But then Connor Bedard decides to go and take a hack at the Slovak player, putting Canada down 5-on-3. They nearly scored on that, right? When we think about it, that was a tight game to be done with. And if they would have scored on that, momentum's going the other way. That could have been a very different game. But it's just, you got to be better than that. And now they're showing the clips from the Canada game. But for people saying Bedard should have played, yeah, you could argue it. I know he played a lot on the power play against Switzerland. But the truth is, you could tell that it's not the old Bedard. But yeah, so our Slovakian friends are back, I think. But anyway, so the truth is, right, when we look at Slovakia, they're a team that if you let them into a game, they're going to take it and run a mile. You give them an inch, they're going to run a mile. It's that classic quote. But it is true, right? And you got to be really, really careful not to give a team a lot of momentum by accident. Because if you give a team momentum, you're eventually going to find your way and get the boot. So you got to be really careful with that. But still, it's still a good... Canada still did decent, I think, at this tournament, given what they had. They didn't have any of their none of their star power that they normally have. Bedard was their big player, and he couldn't really play much because he was taking stupid penalties. And I think, who was it? Reed said, he even mentioned it. He said he was treating it like a 2-week hockey camp, right? Which is true. And you always get back what you put into it. So if you're not going to try for 3 weeks, you're going to run into problems on that account. But nonetheless, Sweden earned every second of that win today. They more or less, they did what they needed to do to really secure that win. And I think, looking back on it, would Canada have liked to win this game? Sure, obviously, but to me, I don't think that they cared enough to win. And whether that's a problem, whether that's not a problem, probably depends on what you're watching. I mean, for me, I'm not happy with them for losing, but I can understand it, because the truth is, if you're going for a gold medal means a lot more to you than a bronze medal. A silver medal versus a bronze medal means a lot more to you. And I just think, at the end of the day, as much as the medals might mean something, I find it difficult to believe that they cared that much. And you could see it in their game, right? And you could just tell that they didn't care enough to win. But at the end of the day, that's hockey, and you got to come to play, or else you're gonna get knocked out. But anyway, if you are new here, please do hit the subscribe button if you have not already. We are approaching 500 subscribers. We're just loading it up now to see. We're at 495. So if 5 of you have not subscribed, please subscribe. We are coming very, very close to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you have not already, please smash the subscribe button. It helps the channel a ton, and I would really, really appreciate it. As well, if you have not already, please also hit the like button and let me know down in chat who you think is going to win this game. Because, once again, we've seen it time and time again with these videos, is whoever seems to be leading the poll tends to win these games. So if you have not already, smash the like button. Let me know who you're cheering for in the chat. As Canada did wear their funeral, and they're showing the recap now. So the first goal, Binnington just looked completely lost in his net. So I'm just going to sort of break down the game based on what they give us here. So then Canada puts one in. Dylan Cousins shoots it from the slot, sort of a Swedish breakdown. Also looked kind of lost with Gustafsson in net. But and then the next one here was the 2-1 goal. Or I guess it isn't. This is the one where Mangiapane threw the brakes on right in front of the net and just shovels it way high. Could not find the back of the net. And then here I believe is the 2-1 goal. And then you can see it, right? Even just the way that they're playing this, they're slow, they're lackadaisical. Whatever term you want to use as slow, that's what I would say. And then the point shot from Binnington just beats them. 2 goals on Binnington on that one. And as much as I hate blaming goaltenders, those are 2 goals you need to have. And then this one is just bad. Binnington just gets beat. Passes the puck right into the stick, and then he shelves it. 3-2, and then with the empty netter is 4-2. As we do have a new subscriber, so thank you very much. We are moving very, very close to the big one, 500. So please, if you have not already, smash the subscribe button. We are getting so close. It would mean a lot to me if you could. But we are moving along here to the second period coming up just after this break. I believe it'll be 3-ish more minutes. So a huge thank you for subscribing. And yeah, we'll move it along here to the second period of action. This one I expect to be a little bit more high scoring. Both teams are definitely sort of finding their touch. We're at 496 for subscribers now. So please, if you have not already, smash the subscribe button. Would be very much appreciated. But yeah, we're moving along here. So just about there to the second period. So we will move this back up to here as we will preview the second period. And I do apologize for the graphics as they did get moved by the looks of it, which is not good. And part of the fun about this is you learn that it doesn't always work quite as it should, but we will take it when it does. But yeah, so second period upcoming here. It's going to be a good period in my opinion. I think in general, both these teams are looking to really take that next step in this one. Find the back of the net. I think if you can find the back of the net, especially early, that's how you're really going to set yourself apart. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a really good finish in this one, I think. And both these teams are just lights out right now. So I think it's only a matter of time. Both goalies have looked really good. But that's the nice thing about hockey is there's always a winner. So we'll see if there's going to be a huge one tonight. But with that being said, we are moving almost there. I think we have about half a minute, I think, until the start of the second period. So we will zone in for that here. It's going to be a good game, and I think in general, the closer we can get to a goal, the more exciting, and just the way the crowd is going to react to this one will really tell you everything you need to know, right? The European crowds are loud, and if you can take them out, if you can take that crowd out early, it's all over. And for these teams, I think at the end of the day, it'll come down to who can score first, who can score early, and who can score often. And I think, in my opinion, who I think is going to be the next goal scorer is going to be Switzerland. Just the chances that they've had have been a little bit better than the Czechs, but they're not by much. You know, this one is completely based off of desperation. But I think the Czechs, the longer this game can stay tied, the better chance they're going to have. And we'll see if my theory's right. Sometimes I'm completely wrong, like picking Sweden and Canada to go to the finals. As you probably can tell, not going to happen. As they move the puck along here. Period, and puck has been dropped in the Czechia. Don't let me call it the Czech Republic. I always mess that one up. But here we go. Switzerland plays it out to the offensive zone. Touched in, cycled back to the point. Shot saved by Lucas Dostel. Good start to this period for Switzerland. You know, they're a team that I'd say look good for the most part. You know, they've been able to really limit the chances for the Czechs, and I think when you do that, you're poised for success. So it's a good start so far for Switzerland. As for the Czechs, time will tell here. Czechs win it, but shoot it out. Camera angle with standing people does not always work. This is cycled out. Natchez to Kubalik. The camp cycles down. Tied up. Oh, Natchez picks it up. To the point. Shot. Kubalik off the crossbar. Or maybe I've messed it. Gioni in the head, maybe. Solid save by the swoop. Played out. But saved by the Swiss goaltender. Spacek is now trying to get Yossi in the goodie area. Trying to do a little bit of fishing there. Did not. Play puck. Oh, and right off the cage of Gioni. Good save. That's what you need to do, though, right? If you're the goaltenders, you got to keep the puck out at all costs. And but once again, good start. Let me know who you're cheering for in the chat. If you are new here, please do hit the like button and subscribe. We are so close to 500 subscribers. So please, 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 if you have not already, smash the subscribe button. It helps a ton. Oh, Pasternak. No hook. No hook on that one. He wanted it, did not get it though. Oh, there's a trip. Yeah, can't be doing that. As the Czechs will be coming up on a power play here. And touched up. We have 18:35 to play as the Czechs will go to the first power play of the game. This is going to be an interesting one to see how they work. Power play and 2 minutes for tripping. Our commentators usually don't take sides in matches where our guys don't play unless it's Czechia playing. Well, I like to think of myself more as a Homa, as they like to say in Boston, Homa. But to be honest with you, I don't really care who wins this one either. I mean, if I had to pick, I'd like to see Pasternak and Zacha win it. But frankly, both teams I don't like very much. Because good save by Chervenka. Because both teams have knocked Canada out at some point this year, so not a huge fan of either team. Czechs knocked him out in the juniors. Switzerland knocked him out in this one. But yeah. So with that being said, we got about a minute 35 left to play. Pasternak collects, gets a poke puck, but keeps it in. To the point shot. Save in the crease. Oh, kept out by the Swiss for now. Oh, so close though. Cycles it across and cleared out to the center ice, but not out of the zone. Kept in by the Czechs, but it will be cleared out down the length of the ice. As there is 17:37 left to play, a minute left in the power play. Oh, penalty coming up. We'll go 4-on-4 for a minute. As there's a trip on Andre Palat in the neutral zone. Can't be doing that. As Switzerland will go on the power play for a little bit over. Oh, that one isn't it. We'll go 4-on-4 for a little bit over. Yeah. Yep. So penalty upcoming for. And Pasternak's just got to shoot that puck. We've seen it time and time again with a guy like David Pasternak. Another power play, GG Switzerland. Yeah. Switzerland's power play has been lights out at this tournament. We think back to the last couple games, and they've just looked like a different team with it. So it will be interesting to see there. But, it's one of those things, right, where cycle shot from the point, good save by Dostal. Yossi with the shot from the point. But once again here, Roman Yossi, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points at this tournament. He's another guy that's just been electric, right? He's a guy you look towards, your captain, and he's one of those guys that you really need to take it to the next level. David Camp will go up against, I'm not sure, Thurkov. As Switzerland wins yet another face-off here, cycles it around the point. Back to Yossi up top. Can't find Andrighetto, dumped in the corner, but will recover. As the Czechs pick it off in the defensive zone, we'll come down 2-on-2 here. They just shot from the point, saved and recovered by Gioni. Good save there. Power plays are worse than Polska's. The team that hasn't played as long as our last gold. Yep. Yeah, Poland, they've been awful. And they did not look good this tournament either, to be honest with you. At least I'm pretty sure that's who Polska is. But so we'll move along here. We're just about to the point where Switzerland will go onto their power play for a minute. There is, I believe, 14 seconds left. I'll just double check that here. 20 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey, and then Switzerland will go on the power play for the full time. And here we go. 10 seconds left on the 4-on-4, and then there'll be about a minute left in the Switzerland power play. And we'll see if they're able to really capitalized. They've looked really good on the power play as of late. We'll see if they can continue that success here. It'll be interesting to take note of. Okay, and the Switzerland power play is now up. Shot! Oh, and just off from the slot from Niederreiter. Could not find the back of the net as they cycle it back up to Yossi to the point. Over to Fiala. As picked off by Cash. Kasha will go out. Oh, he had a 2-on-1, but he didn't go. Disaster. They had a perfect chance there. Just did not decide to go. That would have been perfect. There's just under 30 seconds left in the Swiss power play. Oh, and good keeping by Fiala. Fiala to Yossi across the point. Cycles it around behind the net. Here we go. Moves it around to the top of the crease. Yossi can't keep the puck in the flank position. Oh, Yossi with the side shot. Could not get it to go. So keep it on. Here comes Palat out of the penalty box. The penalty has been killed off. Oh, nope, that isn't it. As the penalty has been killed off, and we will be returning back to even strength with 15 minutes to play in the second period. It's been a real solid game so far. Swiss had their looks, just couldn't find it. Oh, Pasternak in front. Oh, and could not find the back of the net right in front with the open cage. But unfortunately could just not find the string. Still high. Oh, no high stick on that one. So here we go. Switzerland keeps up. 14:30 to play left in the second period. Moves it up, down the line. Cycles it around back to the point. Picked off on the half boards. Here comes the Swiss. Switzerland's doing a little dance. Going to the front of the net! And saved by Dostal. He's been lights out so far in this game. It's exactly what you need from your goaltender, though. When you look at it, you know, he's a world-class goalie right now, and just hard to beat a guy that's red hot. And always tends to be a tough run for you if you just can't find it. So, nonetheless. I honestly thought the Czech loss against the Swiss after OT was a debacle for Czechia, but the Swiss are actually much better than they seemed at the start. Yeah, and I mean, we tend to see that, right, at this tournament, where it's not really about how you shot out front. It's not really about how you start. It's about how you finish. And, you know, red-hot teams get red-hot at the right time. Oh, Kubalik just could not beat it. Red-hot teams get hot at the right time as puck skips over the skate. That's offside. 14 minutes to play. It's never about how you finish at this tournament. It's about how you it's not about how you start at this tournament, but it's about how you finish. And teams pick up assets as they go. You think about NHL players who come in. That's what this tournament is all about. It's not about who you are at the start of the tournament. It's about how you play throughout. And that's one of the nice things about this tournament is, you know, you have, as much as it's about getting to the quarterfinals, most teams are pretty safe because at the end of the day, you have to be in Group A. It was teams like Great Britain, Norway, France, like those kind of teams, right, where you know you're probably going to beat them. Whereas teams, say, like Latvia, right, where they gotta win their quarterfinals in order. Their whole goal is to make it to the quarterfinals. But teams like Switzerland, you know, they're teams that they don't really care where they end up because there's not a guarantee that the best team is going to win the group. You know, this year there was. Canada did take the group, but the rankings don't matter as much as, say, a team like the World Juniors, right, where there are pretty substantial differences in teams. But as soon as you make it to the playoffs, it really is anyone's tournament at that point. The Swiss are that kind of it starts playing when the stakes are high. other team is the complete opposite. Plays well against hard opponents and chokes against Latvia. Well, I mean, that's part of it too, right? I mean, as much as it's important to keep, as much as it's important to play a full tournament, you only really have to win the games that matter. And if you're a team like the Swiss or a team like Czechia, you know you're going to win. You know you're going to make it all the way through. Even the Slovaks, you know you're going to make it through to the quarters. So then it just becomes which games matter the most. Sometimes there's tones being set, but at the end of the day, shot from the point and blocked wide. That was a great shot block, I might add. Save as we have 13 minutes left on the clock. Still no score, which is an interesting one here. You know, these are two teams that are very committed to their structure. When two trap-style teams play each other, it's always an interesting one to see who pulls through. But this one really was a toss-up coming in. As there is the Czech legend, Jaromír Jágr. He's in attendance tonight. But Swiss China teams that plays chokes against Latvia. I mean, yeah, I think we already talked about that. But you just got to win the games that matter. And Canada's a lot of the same, right? Time after time, their round robin is just atrocious. Like, you think about it the 1 year, right? When they add players throughout. I remember the 1 year, I think they lost their first, 3 games. But found their way to win it in the end. And won the entire thing. So, at the end of the day, all that matters, or maybe they lost 3 of their first 4. But they made the quarters, and from there it didn't matter. So they cycle it through. Switzerland will recover and move it out, and that was offside. I'm just saying. This one's gonna come back if it's a goal. Switzerland moves it along in the corner from the point, cycles it up top, down along the end boards. As there's a high stick to the face, no call. I think the Swiss, and here comes the Czechs. Czechs moving up 3-on-2, cycles it out. Here comes Hischer, 1-on-1 with Ambul. Moves back. Ambul, front of the net. Could be a hook. No penalty on that. Here comes screen shot in front. Could not get through. Good save from Peter Fiala. The Czech was watching Czechia play against the Swiss Czech player Fiala. Yeah, there you go. But 11:35 left to play. Camp, good hit there. Tight checking. Fiala cycles it through. Back to the point. Gotta clog those. Gotta clog those boards up. Gotta be careful, especially when you go into a corner with someone from behind. You have to be real careful, especially in the IIHF, because as much as NHL players, they give a lot of leeway with boarding. In the IIHF, if you hit a guy from behind, it's a 5-minute pretty much every time. So you just got to be real careful with the follow through of that hit. Push him over, shove him if you need to, but here comes Pasta. And blocked blocked out front. This Palat, Zaka, Pasternak line has been really good. I've really liked watching them play together. Siegenthaler cycles through. And that might be a penalty for a hold. I don't agree with that one, but I can see why. Got the arm sort of out. You got to be careful on that. But Czechs will go to the power play here. I assume there's about 11 minutes left. I'll go on that assumption. As the Czechs will go to the power play. 2 minutes for the hold. But you got to be careful, right? And we've seen it. It's been a problem. It's just you can't go to a bad penalty. But once again, you got to be careful, especially if you're the Czechs now, because the refs will look for anything to even it out, so that way they can't be the reason for a game to be lost. Power play after power play. Well, I did ask for one just so I could show the graphic off, so I guess that's kind of what I get for asking. But I don't know. I like it. It looks kind of cool. Let me know what you think. But as we have the still once again the middle, so they move it along, setting it up here in the attacking zone. Pasternak cycles through behind the net. Here comes Chervenka. To Zaka. To Chervenka. Back to the point. To Pasternak. Shot. Saved by Gioni. So they move it around to the point. To Chervenka. To Pasternak. Holds. Shoots. Misses wide. Back up to Chervenka. Chervenka down to Zaka. Zaka collects, skates, moves to the point. Chervenka across, back down to Zaka. To Pasternak. Knocked straight up in the air. Could not get through. Good hit. And the Swiss will clear the puck down the ice. Minute left on the Czech power play. We have 9 minutes left, or just under 9 minutes left to play in the second period. .45 seconds left to go on the Czech power play. 9:14 to go in the game. Well, thank you. Oh, that could have been a weird one. Here comes the Czechs. Gets it deep. Cycles it through. Here comes Palat. Back up to the point. Kubalik, and will dump it down. 30 seconds to go left on the Czech power play. But you got to be careful here, right? This is where you kind of get lured into a false sense of calm. Oh, point out. Shot! Great save by Gioni, keeping the puck out and keeping this game tied. 8:30 to go. Shot! Block. As it's now back to even strength. Oh, and just wide. Oh, lots of good chances there for the Czechs. Just could not find the back of the net. I mean, you know, you had the Kubalik chance about 20 odd seconds ago. You had Pasternak multiple times. Just couldn't quite find the back of the net for the Czechs. But, you know, Gioni has been lights out in this game. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that that's the case. But, of course, time will tell if the Swiss can find the back of the net. But, I mean, this has been an excellent game so far. We're down to about just under 9 minutes. 8 minutes and 20-ish seconds. Still a scoreless hockey game. Gold medal game. This is where you want to be. Can't ask for much more than this. We will crown a winner tonight. And, I mean, you can leave your thoughts who you think will win. But, oh, well, the Czech power play is as good as ours. I mean, the truth is that Czech power play was really solid, right? As much as they didn't score on that, they had lots of good chances, and especially on home ice, right? You're looking to try and build momentum as best you can. A good power play builds momentum. A good offensive chance builds momentum. A good high-quality save builds momentum. Hello there, watched by Scoreboard Graphics me. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. It's good to see you, and thanks for all the coverage on this event. It's been outstanding, so... yeah, just keep it up. Keep up the great work, my friend. So we have 8 minutes left to go in the second period. So it's been a good start to this game so far. But we'll see. So 8 minutes to go now in the second. Both teams have had their chances in this game. Just could not find the back of the net. Both goaltenders have been outstanding. So move it along. Oh, slash? Oh, I'm shocked that wasn't a slash on the Czechs. Good save. Keeps the puck out of the net for now. 7:40 to go. And here you go. You can home ice is more effective. 100%. You can even hear the crowd, right? We were talking about the importance of what having the crowd in the game means. We've seen at this tournament. Now the one nice thing as we move towards the Olympics too is it's in Italy, right? And Italy isn't going to have a great hockey team. So the home ice won't have too much of a factor. But say it was in a place like Canada or Czechs or Sweden or Finland. As much always here to do the best I can. Well, you're doing a great job, my friend, so keep it up. But home ice has always been a huge, huge factor in this. And I mean, it's always interesting to watch just how important it can be in do-or-die games, how important it can be in meaningless round-robin games. You know, it can really turn the tide of a game. We've seen it, you know, whether that be with that U.S.-Czech game, whether that be with the U.S. or the Czech-Sweden game, where it just seemed like after that one goal, it went bang, 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 bang. That's the trick for the Czechs to really take control of this game. It's just to keep it going and keep doing what they need to do. And that's just, it's simple hockey, but it's at the end of the day, it's really important for a lot of these teams as it's kept out. Shot got taken away as it was on its way to the net. Interesting one there. As 6:51 to go, I think we might be heading to another TV timeout. But time will tell here. If you are new here, please do subscribe. We are almost at 500 subscribers, so if you have not already, it helps a ton. So please, please, please hit the subscribe button. As we move along here, we're at, as it loads in, 497 subscribers. So please, 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 there's 13, I think, or 13,000 of you in here. So please make sure to hit the subscribe button. So we have 6:30 left to go in the second period. Expected goals, and this was one that I was talking about. 1.86 for the Czechs, 0.5 for Switzerland. You know, both teams have looked really good. Contested win, 38-35, which makes sense. You know, both teams. Oh, shocked that was not a penalty there. Sort of like one of those weird hold ones. Guy skating through. Here we go. Czechs count. Pick it up. Shot from the point. Blocked. Kasha had it, and the Yossi will pick it up and take it down. Yossi. Ambuel. Shot blocked by the defenseman. Ambuel. And Kasha is apparently headed down the tunnel. That is not a good sign for the Czechs. You never like to see a player go down, much less a guy to the caliber of Kasha, who is looking to really make a mark at this tournament, hopefully make his way back to the NHL. You know, he's had a career plagued by injuries, so it'd be good to see him come back. But that was well, I'm sure they'll show the hit here in a second, but it's a tough, would be a big loss for the Czech team. Oh, got him right in the nards. Oh, yikes! Yeah, that's like yeah, that'd make me go down the tunnel too. I'll be honest with you. Puck straight to the where that sun don't shine. Oh, and Fiala short, just saved by Dostal. Great save on that one. He sure shot. Oh, and great save by Dostal there. As now we're going to get into a shoving match here. As everyone is getting going. This game is yet to be done. Still a 0-0 hockey game. Gold medal action from the World Hockey Championship. Can't ask for much more than that. As we look at the poll, we have 81% of you guys think that Czechia is going to beat Switzerland. If you have not already, be sure to vote. We're at 81% to 19% of you guys think Czechia is going to win. So, I mean, if you think so, I'll take your word for it. But yep, exciting games so far. It's always a treat to watch these two teams play, and they've looked really good to this point. Always a great time whenever it's a gold medal game of any IIHF tournament. You know, tensions are high. Anyone can take this game, and we'll be curious to see what happens next in this game. But if you are new here, be sure to smash the like button if you have not already. It helps more people come in, so please, please do so. As well, we are on the road to 500 subscribers. I think we are now 3 away the last time we checked, about 10 minutes ago. So be sure to please, please, please subscribe. Let's hit 500 subscribers on this stream. Share with all your friends, and let's talk a little bit of hockey here. Say hi in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game. And yeah. We'll see what goes on here. As here comes the Czechs. 5:20 to go in the second period. It's been a game fueled. Does that hit the glass? Did Gudas just get a delay game penalty? Here we go. They're gonna discuss. Here we go. Let's see. This might be an interesting one. That's straight out, as the Czechs will, assuming nothing crazy happens, the Czechs will go to the power play here. Let's see if they. Yep. Well. Oh nope. Sorry. Switzerland will go to the power play. The Czechs will be on the penalty kill. So 2 minutes for delay a game, which is a tough penalty to take. We've seen it time and time again with this Swiss power play. If they can get going, would not surprise me to see, and this is where I'm going to try and get fancy with it. I can't actually see this. I'm going to go there. Nope, wait. No, I can see it. There we go. There it is. Where this number right here is going to change a little bit. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be an interesting one. Fiala wins the draw to Yossi. Fiala. Ambul. Back to Fiala. Fiala walks in on the wing. Ambul in front of the net. Shot. Fiala saved. To Hischer. To Yossi. Yossi shot from the point. Back to Niederreiter. Niederreiter cycles it around to the flank. Hischer cannot keep it in. The Czechs will dump it in. Niederreiter cycles it over to Yossi, to Fiala on the flank. Shot. Blocked. Yossi keeps it in at the blue line. Minute 15 to go left in this power play. To Yossi. Yossi shot. From the shot. Oh, and blocked in front of the net. Tipped. Great save by Lucas Dostal. Fiala to Yossi. Keeps it in. Keeps it in. Moves it over to Ambul. Ambul. To Hischer. To Ambul. Fiala. Shot. Niederreiter in front of the slot and cannot beat Dostal. 46 seconds left to go. Great save on that one. Whew. How about that power play, eh? That's a power play that knows what it's doing. Great puck movement, great shots on net. That's what you need. Double tip and, just misses wide. Oh, so close. Oh, so close to finding the back of the net. It's 4 minutes to play here. 30 seconds left on the Swiss power play. As Herzog will try and get it, but the Czechs will clear the zone as the Swiss will have to regroup in their own end, likely spelling the end of this power play. They had their looks, just could not find the back of the net. As they carry it through here, dump it in, and it appears, the Czechs did not dump it out. And they will now, shot it right into the bench. Almost took a couple heads off on that one. It's about 10. There's 5 seconds left on this power play. 3:16 left to go. A little bit of Crazy Frog never hurt anybody. All right. So 3:16 left to go in the second. 5 seconds left on the Swiss power play. And they will clear it, which will kill off the Swiss power play. It was a good power play, but unfortunately just could not find the back of the net, and we will remain at 0-0. Oh, good poke check there. 3 minutes left to go in the second period. This has been a game that's really shown. There you go. Oh, knocked down by the Czech line. Skates it through. Here we go. Sedlak. Nope. Cycles it around. Back to Sedlak. Degutis at the point. Shot. Blocked out wide. Czechs have had a little bit of zone time. There's Cervenka, the captain for Czechia. See if he can... Hi, Warren. How you doing today? Bershki. Cycles it around. There you go. You got to get this puck out. Swiss been hemmed in their own end for about a minute now. Just can't find it as they will lose it at the blue line. Will roll over the stick. Here's Gudas. Gudas collects in his own end. 2 minutes to go in the second period. Shot. And picked up by off the end boards. As we will maybe take a period break. I feel like it's been a while since we had one of those. But, well, that's good. We'll take fine. Who are you cheering for today? It's going to be, this will be an interesting end to this game, I think. Both teams have looked really solid, but as we sort of talked about in the off the open, it'll be, I think at the end of the day, it'll come down to who can score first, and I think that'll really decide this this end game. They will chip it off the boards. And here comes the Swiss. Swiss 3-on-2. Dump and chase in this one. So move it along here. Cycles it through around the boards. That could be a trip, but nope. Just taking the puck away from the body here. Minute 30 to go in the second period. As they move it along. They will ice the puck. No icing on that one as Yossi gets back to cycle around the board. So the Swiss defender will carry it up to the red line, dumping and chasing. This has been a solid game so far for both sides, and we'll see if they can continue that as we enter the last minute of the second period of the gold medal game in this IIHF World Championship. Shot from the point blocked. In front! Oh, and they could not find it. Rebound chance comes straight out. Pasternak from the point. Oh, rebound cleared to the corner. Here comes Pasternak. Pasternak again. Pasternak. Shoot. Front. No shot there. 30 seconds to go left in the second period. From the point. Czechs buzzing. Pasternak shoots off the end boards and wide. The Swiss, 15 seconds left in the period. Here they come. From the point. Natras shoots. Wide. 9 seconds. 5 seconds to go in the second period. Last chances for the Czechs. In front. Shoots. And saved by Gioni. An excellent, excellent period for the Czechs. And you saw right to that very end, right? They're a team that's going to slowly but surely make their way through. Oh, and he hits the post with the shot. David Kampf, spinning pass from David Pasternak, and just hits the outside of the post. This game will remain in 0-0 hockey game as we hit the end of the period. Not sure why this is being fun today, but nonetheless. There we go. So, with that, we have reached the end of the second period of action. I welcome anyone joining us for the second period intermission report. As well, let's talk about this game, what it's been so far. You know, we talked about it on the onset. It's all about who's going to score the first goal. And to be honest, both teams have had their looks. It's just having problems finding the back of the net, which, I mean, to be honest, both teams have had that problem for the most part. You know, outside of maybe that one Sweden-Czech game, most of the games that these two teams have played in have been very, very tight. So, and with that in mind, it's going to be a very tight game. Not just just in general. These two teams aren't very offensive. But at the same time, these two teams have had a lot of good chances. Gioni for the Swiss has been outstanding in keeping this game tied. Lucas Dostal has been outstanding in keeping this game tied. Both these goalies have been the reason why this game is 0-0, to be completely honest with you. If you look at it from sort of a broad perspective, that's what you come to expect from these two teams. You come in, both teams aren't really firing offensively. Their last game for the Czechs, sure, a lot of offense, but a lot of that was caused by desperation from the Swedes. But at the end of the day, it's just a solid game from both sides here, playing their structure, sticking to it, especially when times get tough, which is all you can ask for. And I'd love to get your guys' take in the comments in the chat. Just let me know who you think is going to take this one. And if you have a goal scorer in mind, feel free to throw it down there. Let me know who you think is going to be the big bad goal scorer in this one. But the truth is here, it has been quite the game so far. And we'll see if they can continue that. Canada-Sweden today was a little bit of a letdown, I think, for both sides. I mean, you could just tell there wasn't that much care in that game. Sure, it's the bronze medal, doesn't mean as much as the gold, but normally there's still a little bit of that care. This one, you can tell both teams care that much more. It's the gold medal for their country. Switzerland looking to do something they haven't done in a while. But at the same time, so has the other side. So we'll see what goes on there and whether or not they decide to really take that next step and go for it, right?
The difference between a summer road trip and the road trip of the summer is an ice cold drink from McDonald's.
But nonetheless, it'll be an interesting game here, right? When you look at it, gold medal game, double IIHF championship. It'll be an interesting to see what happens next. But with that all being said, it'll be interesting what is going on.
Continues today from Saginaw, Michigan, as the league champions from the OHL, WHL, and QMJHL battle for the national championship. Tune in for Game 3.
But we will see, see what is going on.
Well, Czechia still looking to break through in this gold medal game after an offensive explosion yesterday.
But yeah, so, time will tell, right? 0-0 hockey game. Crowd is into it. Crowd is feeling that nervous energy, which is what you want to see in a gold medal game. We will see what goes on next year as we head into the second intermission report. Should be an interesting one.
To the semifinal yesterday when they just kept everything low scoring, obviously not a lot of goals, and Switzerland is just looking for that one break.
They are, and Switzerland doesn't really mind playing that. You can outshoot us 2-1 if you want. We're just going to wait for our chance, and at times that's the way it looked with their defensive structure. Give Czechia credit; they were able to find the seams.
But yeah, so we'll see what goes on in this one, whether or not there's going to be a huge, sort of a different result that was unexpected. But
there might just be waiting for that one opportunity on the power play. We'll have to wait and see. But both teams, I wouldn't say.
But time will tell there.
Holding back on their offense, they're holding back on the fact that they're not going to take chances with deep pinching and creating some extra offense because they don't want to give up the outnumbered situation, which we haven't seen. Both teams are playing strong defense, but Switzerland just seems to be that team in this tournament that's like, that's okay, you guys can do what you want as long as you're playing the outside. And Leonardo Giannoni's question.
Oh, but anyway, so lots going on in this intermission, right? And I think there's lots to talk about, whether that be this entire tournament. Normally, if there's an overtime period, we talk about the entire tournament because we can talk about the first game of the day for that first intermission. Second is the second one, and then the third one. If there's a third intermission for overtime, is when we talk about the whole tournament as a whole. But I think in terms of what we're doing in this one, we'll talk about this game. And I think when we look at the goaltending, That's been the biggest difference in this tournament, in this game, and I think will be probably the decider. Which goaltender lets in the bad goal first? Which goaltender just gets beat? Which goalie's gonna find his way? But you got a guy like Gioni, who's been really solid, right? Really solid all game long. Then you got a guy like Dostal, who's been solid really all tournament. And I'll be curious to see whether or not which goalie's going to break first, because they're both on back-to-back, right? So think about it in that sense. Gioni played overtime and a shootout yesterday in the later game, which means he's got one less rest, more time played in the game. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any carryover for that into the overtime frame, which I think very well there could be, right? Which is one of the things I'm most curious to see about in this upcoming period, on whether or not Czechs are going to be able to really take that next step and find the back of the net on the tough Gioni goaltender. But time will tell, right? And I think it's just one of those interesting things where Pavel Zacha is now being interviewed. He's been really solid this game. I've really liked the line with Palat, Zacha, and Pasternak. Who knows? Maybe Don. Hey, Don. Yeah, Don. Hey, Don. Can you do something? Can you maybe get him? They've looked really good. See if Tampa wants to rebuild. Send a couple draft picks. Could be an interesting one, Don. Come on, Don. I'm a Bruins fan, for those who don't know. So that's why I'm putting that request in. But they've looked really solid in this game together. They've been passing the puck really efficiently. So we'll see if they can continue that. But if we're looking at a general overview, there's a lot of guys I look towards in this game to really, right now both teams are neck and neck. I want to see who the player is that's going to put the teams just that much more. And I think that's how the teams will really separate themselves. But of course, time will tell. Lots and lots of hockey still to be played in this one. But nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting game here. See who can take it out, who can win this game. And but yeah, so time will tell here. If you have not already, please subscribe. We are at 497 subscribers. We are 3 away from 500, so if you have not already, please subscribe. We are so close, and we'll have a fun video coming out for 500 subscribers. So definitely stay tuned for that one, as we're going to be doing a little bit of a throwback on it. You can try and guess what it might be, but please, if you have not already, be sure to smash the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. As well, hit the like on the stream, so that way we can get more people in. More people, the better, right? That's the beautiful thing. As well, let me know in the chat who you are cheering for, and let me know in the poll in the chat who you think will win. You don't have to necessarily cheer for who you think will win. That's why there's 2 different ones. So let me know who you want to win in the chat, but in the poll, let me know who you think will win. Right now, we have a 79% majority for the Czechs, so we'll see if that ends up coming true. Should be an interesting one there. But of course, this is game time, right? Gold medal, IIHF World Championship, 0-0 hockey game. This is what third period, this is what you dream up in your basement. The Olympic medal, whatever it might be, the gold medal game. Everything on you. Who's going to be the hero? Sure, there's overtime, which, let's be honest here, we'll probably get to that point if this game continues. Both goalies have been outstanding, but I hate to say it because I know I'm going to jinx it, but in many ways, it feels a lot like, how when in games they're really, really tight, and there's just one bad mistake that costs you. I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like that's coming. These two teams are so evenly matched. I think it is going to come down to one bad bounce that will decide it. The goaltenders have been outstanding, to put it nicely. They've been a real difference point in this game. So we'll see if they can continue that. We're at 498 now. So please, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe. But the goal, of course, is, you know, you want to put the puck in the back of the net, but you also want to keep the puck out of your net. So when you get that extra little grip of the stick, right, it's extra hard. You're extra worried. You just have to be extremely, extremely careful not to be too cautious and in the long run hurt yourself that way. But yeah, so we're just about out of stuff to talk about, which means we're just about at the third period, which is honestly, I mean, it's going to be a great finish to this game. Definitely stay tuned. We'll have the full commentary and all the fun stuff that goes with it. But yeah, so time will tell here. Let me know who you're cheering for, who you think will win. As we're moving ever so close to the end of this one and the crowning of the 2024 IIHF World Championship champion. So it's going to be a good one here. Good old Jaromir Jagr, who will be inducted into the IIHF Hockey Hall of Fame. He's obviously one of the greatest players of all time. Not necessarily the greatest, but one of, and I don't want people to come at me in the chat for that one. But he's one of those guys, right? That he's really brought the Czech hockey to life, and I don't think people will be mad at me for saying that. Maybe they will. I mean, most of the time people can find something bad about whatever I say, but the truth is, you know, he's one of the main reasons why Czech hockey is where it is today. And he's an outstanding player. He's an outstanding ambassador to the game, and yeah. So it's always all part of the fun, right? Is seeing sort of what goes on next, and yeah. But so we'll see here who's going to be the winner. Let me know who you think. If you got a goal scorer in mind, and we'll do this. If you want to guess who the game-winning goal scorer is in the chat, we will give you a shout-out in the upcoming recap video. So if you can guess it correctly, we will include you in the recap video. So be sure to drop down in the chat who you think will win. It is always a treat to try and guess who it's going to be. I think for me, I have to go with a guy like David Pastrnak, just because I'm a Bruins fan and he seems to never score goals until he needs to. I'm going to take David Pastrnak in this one, but here's the caveat. I'm going to take David Pastrnak in overtime. I know it's the third coming up, but I'm going to take David Pastrnak in overtime as the only goal scorer of this game. Wild take, maybe, probably, yeah, pretty much guaranteed. But hear me out. David Pastrnak is going to be your game-winning goal scorer for Czechia on home ice and will lead his team to victory, unlike what he could with the Bruins. But, of course, that's none to be seen. Time will tell, right? And I'd love to get your thoughts, so be sure to drop your predictions down in the comments. And maybe I'm crazy, but I'd love to hear your thoughts just so we can get a couple other voices. Try and take their pick. I mean, there's lots of players to choose from, right? I mean, whether that be on Switzerland or Czechia, both teams have players that are likely to score a goal in this game, just haven't quite found the back of the net. Another guy I'd look at is a guy like Anders Ambuel. He's a guy that, you know, he's not necessarily your standalone player, but what he does is just that gritty grinder type role that you really need on a team. And I enjoy the way watching him play. Like he plays the game the right way, but he's solid enough that, you know, he's where you want to be. This game has a feel of a 1-0 OT game, but will it go past the first OT? Well, Nick, I'm so happy you asked this, because last night I was working on the graphics for this video, and one of the things you have to do with these is I haven't figured out how to do like the text, right, on how to do like the period thing. So I've like downloaded a bunch of images. I downloaded up the third overtime period because I had a hunch that this game was going to triple OT, and if it goes to 4 OTs, then I mean we'll figure it out when it gets to that point. But I have a hunch that it's going to go to triple OT. I think it's going to be an excellent ending to this one, and I am very curious to know how this game is going to end, who's going to be that goal scorer. But I do think Pasternak and OT is going to be your only goal of this game. Yeah, but of course, I'd love to get your thoughts. Let me know down in the chat who you think is going to win. But yeah, lots of hockey still to be played as we're coming up on the third period of action. It is always a really good fun fact. Since the IIHF ball shootouts from the gold medal game, 9 gold medal games have gone to overtime. This would be the second to not involve Canada. Also, none have gone past the first OT. Well, I am extremely happy about that one because one of the beautiful parts about IIHF hockey is every time I stream, it always seems to go to overtime, because we made a video for the juniors, which was that Finland Canada back in 2022-23, and then of course we did all the streams last year, which was the Slovak Canada game, as we will begin third period here. Third period of action. 20 minutes in the third period. Still a 0-0 hockey game. This is going to be a good one, folks, so stay tuned. And sorry, back to what I was going on about. So remember, back to the streams, one of the key ones that we kind of forget about a little bit is that Slovak Canada game, right, with the Connor Bedard goal against Adam Gajan, which was just an incredible goal, I might add. He was one of those guys that I was really terrified to go up against, and I think it's shocked a lot of people. But he'd been excellent all tournament long. Not to mention, we also went live for the Czech Canada game that year, gold medal. We also went live for Switzerland, 2-on-1. Here we go. Switzerland, pass, shot. Oh, and could not get through. As we have 18 minutes left to go. Just could not find the empty net there. 2-on-1, cross crease pass, the NHL cheat code move, but could not get the puck. Oh, and Palat 1-on-1. Here he comes, slows down, stops, and throws it on net to Pasternak into the corner. Pasternak, shot, save by blocked shot in front. Cycles around the D, shot from the point. Sedlak, and the puck will be kept in at the Swiss line by the Czechs. Czechs will collect the puck behind the net, pass it around, and good hit by the Swiss player. Here comes Switzerland as they rim it around. Good pick up there. Here comes the Swiss. As the Swiss will recollect the puck, bring it up through the neutral zone, dumping it in, coming around the boards. The Czechs will pick it up, cycle it back around. But when they go against the grain on that one, pass it through as the Czechs break out into the Swiss zone. Curl, shot, save, rebound, out and cleared. This has been a solid start to the Swiss power play.
Fourth line again for Czechia. Attacking on the front of the net. Now with speed, here comes Natchez around Fiala.
17 minutes. Blockered away, back out of the zone. Good blocker there by Gioni to really clear that puck. We've seen a little bit of a turn of the tide so far in this game. The Czechs have come out on fire. Here comes Kubalik. Oh boy. As it's up. Oh, and hit the scoreboard. You don't see that one every day. Dumping puck, hits the scoreboard. Good block there. Keeping and Sedlak passes it across tries to give it across to Pasternak with the wide open cage, but you got to shoot that puck. Stansky with the block, and Tomaszek with the rebound. Could not find the back of the net, however. So It's been an interesting start to this game so far, right? Or this period so far. We'll see if there's any goals upcoming here, but you know, when you can find two goalies that are really hot, it's very, very difficult to find the back of the net. Here comes Turcotte back through the thing. Here comes Owen, shot and wide. Just missed the net there. This puck is cleared out around. Good pass, and will be cleared back in. Dumped and chased. Here comes Dosto to play the puck. Could have been bad. As we enter 4 minutes into the third period now, we have a very tight game and really could go either way at this point. .15:30, puck is cleared out. Here comes the Czechs. Swiss pick it up and go back the other way now. Here comes the Swiss. Oh, here comes two on two maybe. And oh, no penalty called on the fairly blatant hold for the Czechs. That one was a shock to me that wasn't called. One of those, you know, you could argue for a penalty or not. Oh, just missed wide on that shot. That shot tip just a little bit wide. Hits off the post. You know, those are the kind of chances that you need to capitalize on if you're Switzerland. Take the crowd out and really sort of put the pedal to the metal. As the ref is now giving it to the forwards who are battling in the faceoff dot. You got to be careful about that. Here comes, trip. There's icing, which will be called. 14:52 to go in the third period. Still a scoreless hockey game, and I think that's a little bit of a shock to most people, considering these two teams sort of have looked pretty good, especially on the offensive side as of late. But, I mean, time will tell, right? It's only a matter of time before someone puts the puck in and makes this game a little bit different. But if you are new here, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that, and let me know down in the comments who you are cheering for, as well as in the poll, who you think will win. And if you have a goal scorer, be sure to drop it down in the comments below. Here comes Niederreiter. Shot dumped around to Hischier. So it's passed around, and the Czechs will pick it up and recover. Passed around the boards. Here comes the Swiss. 14 minutes to go in the third period, as the Swiss will try and just hold on to this one. They've seemed to... Ooh, there's a weird change. Too many? Nope, you're good. Oh, and here comes the Swiss. Here's Berschke. Oh, with the big hit. Swiss pick it up in the offensive zone. Shot from the point. Cleared out to the corners. Picks it up along the half wall behind the net. So here comes Czechia. Czechia brings it out. Here comes that past the line with Palat. Palat shot. Save by Gioni with another huge save. He's been lights out on this one as we head to a TV timeout in the third period. It has been quite the game so far. But it's been quite the... But we'll see as we move it along here to the third period, right? We're about halfway through this third period. and still nothing to show for it, right? We'll see if there's any goals coming up, and but yeah. So let me know in the chat, of course, who you're cheering for. I mean, it's been a solid game so far, right? Which is all you can really ask for. But I mean, time will tell of whether or not anything can happen. But yeah.
Fiery with a cooling finish. The Nashville style hot chicken, part of the new globally inspired Subway series.
13:24 to go in the third period here. Will be interesting to see what goes on, but of course, time will tell. You gotta love the Czech music that they play. It's just always upbeat and happy, and can never really go wrong with it. Not sure if you guys can hear that or not, but it's boppy.
The last gold medal for the Czechs on home ice was in 1985. Here in Prague as Czechoslovakia.
As the Czechs win the draw, but it is called back as they will drop the puck again. Zaka against Sentler for the draw in the offensive zone for the Czechs. What's up, Park? How's this game going, bud? This has been an excellent game, Mark. It's been one of those games where it's really back and forth, but it's been a really solid game. Shot wide for the Swiss. The Swiss are in the offensive zone here. Oh, we have an injured Swiss player. As Palat with the hard hit, knocking him out. What's up? How's the game go? Game's good. So it's been a real tight game. Everything you can ask for from a gold medal game. Pasternak and Zach have looked incredible. They've been playing alongside Andre Palat from Tampa, so that's another guy that could be up for grabs for a Bruins spot. I mean, I know. Out front, but Palat looked really good alongside Pasternak and Zaka, so could be a potential line as that will be milked for icing. I've been watching the Rangers and Panthers game, which is in the first intermission. How's that game going, out of curiosity? Oh my God, he. Oh my God! So Palat just broke the glass, hit a guy and broke the glass. That's wild. Whew, that's gotta be a little painful. Yikes! As they'll go to a good old-fashioned ice cleanup crew to try and fix this glass. Obviously, it is dangerous to have broken glass in a hockey rink. But we'll see if anything interesting goes on there. If you are new, please do subscribe. We're at 498 subscribers, so 2 away from the big 500. So please, 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 if you have not already, be sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe. It's free, it's easy, and love if you could. But so, as we like to say, right, this intense game, 2-2 after 1. Yeah, which makes a ton of sense, right? Those are two very evenly matched teams that are just incredibly, they're just really solid overall. They play the game the right way. And this is, remember back to the top of this program, right? And the whole thing was you got to take the Czech crowd out early. And right now they're currently dancing. They are enjoying themselves. They are giving their team energy. It is a dangerous, dangerous moment for Switzerland. They need a quick one here to really take the crowd out of it. The one good thing is, of course, there is this period break, right, where they got to do a little bit of glass repair. So, I mean, that is at least something that they can more or less take care of, but at the same time, you got to be careful, especially at this point in the game where anyone can take it. We are waiting here. So glass has been broken by an Andre Palat hit. Not by a puck. Nope. By him hitting a guy and more or less cracking the glass, which, I mean, these glass aren't the glasses of old, right? Where it's where you sort of can break through it. These are hard plexiglass, bulletproof stuff that kind of speaks to how hard that hit was. You would not want to be on the receiving end of that one, I can tell you that much. Can't remember which year it was, but there was one year where one of the venues had a ton of glass mishaps, so their games always ended a few minutes later. Oh, what year was that? I remember which one you're talking about. I can't remember it though. Yeah, I can't remember exact back and forth action. Once one team got on the boards, not long for they were capitalized. Should be exciting for sure. I mean, it's always a treat, right, when you get to watch those kind of games. Just a full, complete back and forth effort, which is always good. But that's the joy of it, right? Now they got to unscrew all the glass, take it out, and then try and figure out how to stick it back in. I'm sure they got a system, but I didn't. Never been much of an engineer myself, so always interesting to watch how they figure out to put the plexiglass back in. But and here we go. Now they're slowly but surely trying to pull this stuff out as they got the wave coming through. As we got guys climbing up on the wall. That is awesome. Now that's how you do it. Good old fashioned. Can I have a piece of that? You can't make this stuff up. So the fans are holding stuff. It's like a full family effort on this one. Czech fans are doing the majority of the work here. This is awesome. That is awesome. You cannot make this stuff up. It's pure entertainment. Yeah, we got a clown show here in Prague. Just pure entertainment. Feels like a little bit of an entertainment as the Czech fans are now doing this one. They're having all sorts of fun. Then we got we have a full team huddle on the Swiss bench rather, as Yossi is screaming at the team, trying to wake them up, get them going, which is exactly what you're looking for out of your captain. That is more or less perfect for the Swiss, which is exactly what you need. You know, he's a leader by heart. He's a good captain, as shown in our captain's rankings, which a lot of people didn't agree with, but that is okay because there was a few of you that did, which is always a shock to me. But nonetheless, we are just about started here, as the ice crew is now on their way out, I think. Yep, the ice crew is on their way out, which means we are about to resume play here in the IIHF World Championship gold medal game. 0-0 is your score, and it's going to be a good final finish to this game. As here we go. The game will be underway shortly as the crew is now off the ice and the puck is about to be dropped. Here we go. Puck will be dropped here, and we will be back underway. Nonetheless, here we go. Puck has been dropped. Offensive zone draw win for the Czechs. Czechs pick it up. Here comes the Czechs down in the corner. Shot. Off. Saved by Gioni and passed out. Swiss dump it in. As we will, about 12 minutes left to go in the third period. Here comes the Czechs again. We'll see if that talk did anything to the Swiss bench. We saw Yossi more or less start screaming at his bench, getting him going. We'll see if that has any carryover into this one. It's a huge hit by Gudas. Takes out Anders Ambule, which is exactly what you're looking for, right? 11:40 to go left in the third period. Shot down, dumped in. Here's Giannoni with the puck play. Got to be careful with that one. Checks, cycling deep. Here comes the Swiss, dumping it in and offside. But it's allowed. Oh, and a big hit by Gudis with the hip check. Takes out Ambule and takes out his entire legs. You got to be. The one thing I've found is that good old-fashioned hip checks are now called trips in most of the big leagues, which is kind of annoying, sad to me that we're losing. A more or less really important play. Is Zacha playing center? Zacha is playing center. Yes, Zacha is playing center. At least he's taking the face-offs. The position, I'm not sure. But, yeah. Zacha is playing center. And NHS is not playing on their line, unfortunately. So we won't get to see what that could look like in a future Bruins uniform. But, I guess it's okay too, right? Because at the end of the day, you kind of make your way through that. But as the offensive zone draw coming for Switzerland here, following the offside call. Face-off won by the Swiss. Swiss shot off and saved by Dostal. Back to the line, carried out. And here comes Spacek. Dumped and more or less changed for the Czechs. As Switzerland regains possession and will push it along. That could be icing, and it will be icing. Which is kind of one of those tight calls. You don't really like to see that one. But it is what it is. So Switzerland will be back in their defensive end here following the icing call, as the Pastrnak, Zacha, and Palat line will hop out. Should be an interesting combo of lines here. Zacha and Spershi for the face-off. Zacha wins it to the blue line. Cycles from the point. Shot. Pastrnak scores from the line. What a goal. That's how you do it. And like I kind of predicted, David Pastrnak is your first goal scorer. Czechs go up 1-0. And once again, remember, we talked about this. As soon as one goes in, it's almost like a tumbling muffin. Once one goes, they all go. Tic-tac-toe, Pastrnak scores, giving the home crowd life. It's a 1-0 hockey game in the gold medal game. What a goal. There you are, Mark. What a goal. It was a thing of beauty, I say. And Pastrnak is fired up. Think about it. He's always shows up in those big games when you need him to. One of those guys that, just lights out, incredible, exactly what you need from a guy like David Pastrnak. It is a 1-0 hockey game. Yeah. David Pastrnak with his first goal of the tournament, but it's all you need, right? You only need him for one. And now it's all about the defense. We'll see what Switzerland does here. Are they going to try and stay in it? I believe that was actually a set play off the face-off, because the two, Zacha and Palat, did end up drawing in and basically setting as a screen. Tumbling muffin, was that a no? Every one of my quotes are an ode to good old-fashioned Jack Edwards. But to be honest with you, it was the truth is, as soon as one goes in for the Czechs, it seems like it's just a thing. And you can see it now. The building is legitimately shaking as the crowd jumps up and down. Feels like a soccer match or a football match for my European friends. Big hit, shot. Oh, and great save by Dostal again. kick saved to the corner. 10 minutes to go here in the third period. This game has been an excellent game. And once again, remember, this is the key to success for the Swiss. They got to be able to take the crowd out of it. Right now, they're not doing a great job of it. I knew it, lol. Yep. Full of fun stuff every day that we get to talk a little hockey as they come up to the red line. Shot on net will be saved by Dostel. Again, we will see if we will go to another period break here now. So huge period and big goal for the Czechs. David Pastrnak. When you look to a guy to score a big goal, you got to look to your star players. David Pastrnak with the huge tic-tac-toe goal to put the Czechs up 1-0. That's what you need, though, right? When you think about it, you need a big goal at a big time, and no one better than your star player who you just got, David Pastrnak. And it was one of those beautiful plays, right? It was as much as it was the finish. It's all about that setup from the point to the defense to the other defense, and then of course to Pastrnak on the just outside the circle, fires it home for the lead. But nice thing about Switzerland, they're not going to go home empty. They're a team that are nothing but fighters, and when we look at it, they're not going to give in, right? And I think it's important to note that as much as this is going to be a good game right to the very end, this game is far from over. And I think overtime is still very much a possibility. All right, man, second period is about to start in the Rangers-Panthers game over there. Thanks for putting it together on this Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, happy Memorial Day, I guess. We don't have that here in Canada, but yeah. Hope you're having a good weekend too, and hope the Rangers and Panthers game goes decently well for you too. So we're about to have puck drop yet again here in the offensive zone for the Swiss here. So Switzerland, Czechs win the draw and will dump it out here with 9:36 left to go in the third period of this gold medal game. We're obviously this is a tight game, right? Right to the very end. Cycles it around, dumps it through, and the Czechs will clear it yet again. Kind of feels like the good old-fashioned... Oh, and it is going to go for icing, actually, which is surprising. Didn't think that would happen, but nonetheless. But, yeah, and you can see, right? This is the problem when you go against a home team, is once they get a little momentum, the little momentum will go a long, long way. Pastrnak is, of course, very happy about his goal, as he very well should be. But still, once again, 1-0 hockey game. It really is still anyone's game. Just a matter of who can score next. You know, if the Czechs can find a way to score early here, they probably take the Swiss right out of it. Good defensive play there, but I'm not sure who it was, but good kick save out, keeping the game alive. So we have Hischier now. Pastrnak. We got both basically top lines out. You got the Palat past the line, and you got the Hischier line and Fiala for the Swiss. There's a pretty big hook. You got to be careful here on that board, Zaka. Got to be very careful, especially when you're playing in corners, just to make sure you don't get that 5-minute hit from behind, because that's a big penalty that they love to call in this IIHF. Here we go, 3-on-2 for the Czechs. Pastrnak, Zaka, Pastrnak does this weird move. Oh, and beautiful saucer pass, just could not find it on the other half of the ice. Here we go. So you have 8 minutes to go now in the third period. Huge goal for the Czechs with that Pastrnak. Oh, in front. Oh, an ambule for the Swiss. Oh, here we go. Oh, Kasha dumps and chases. 7.5 minutes to go in this gold medal game, assuming there is no more overtime. But to be honest, at this point, anything is possible. Likely not going to see another power play. And from the point, shot wide, rebound, out, misses the net. Here we go. 7:20 to go. Here comes, there you go. And now skate with it and dump it in is exactly what the Swiss need to do. Eventually, you got to make a play for the net. We'll see if they end up doing so. Of course, time will tell on that one as the ice for the Swiss. So we have an 82 votes in our poll. So be sure to vote in the poll if you have not already. 77% say Czechia, 23% say Switzerland was going to win this game. As well, be sure to subscribe. We are 2 subscribers away from 500 subscribers on YouTube. So please, 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 if you have not already done so, smash the subscribe button. As we wait, what was that? That looked like a false start if you've ever seen a false start. But we have one nothing hockey game, right? So it really is anyone's game at this point. We'll see if this game ends up going to overtime. Could be an interesting finish to this game. Oh, and that! Oh, Swiss did not find it. Back to the point. Oh, Swiss missed a golden opportunity there to put the puck in the back of the net. They had a rebound right in front of the net, just could not find it. So here comes the Swiss. Swiss are moving good here. This is exactly what you want to see. Deflecting. Oh! Oh! Dostal fell and just luckily got his pad on that shot. That one was lucky it did not end up in the back of his net. Wow, what a shot. High tip. Almost did it. We talked about it, right? It's going to be a bad goal that ends up going in. But this one by Andrighetto just could not get that puck in the back of the net. Time and time again, you know, it's because that one goes in and it's a completely different hockey game. Just can't find it for the big bad Switzerland. We'll see if they can find it here. Offensive zone draw, 6:30 to go. So it's pushed up along the half wall. So they move it along here. But nonetheless, time will tell here. Shot. Rebound. Save. Switzerland pressing in the offensive zone now. Desperation is starting to kick in. We'll see if this... To the corner. Fiala. Spin shot. Rebound. Cannot find the rebound. As 5:50 to go in the third period. This one is quite the game. Oh no. From Cervenka. Slowful. Cycles it around. Picked off by the Czechs, but Switzerland quickly regains possession. Moves it along back. Dumps it in to the Czech zone. Czechs recover. But quickly taken away. Point shot from the Swiss and saved by Lucas Dostal. I will say this. Lucas Dostal is slowly cementing himself as the MVP of this tournament, assuming that the Czechs can win this game. I think without a doubt, it's going to be one of the goalies. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to whichever one wins, whether that's Gioni or Dostal. Both those guys have been incredible. And we'll see if they can find their way here. With 6-ish minutes to go in the third period. Gold medal game. Can't ask for much more than a nice tight game right down to the wire. It's going to be a good one, folks, so stay tuned for that. But with that, if you haven't made it this far, definitely drop a like if you like what you're seeing. Let me say hi in the chat, see if anyone's home. As well, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We are 2 subscribers away from 500 on YouTube. So if you have not already, be sure to smash the subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. As well, hit in the chat. Let me know who you think is going to win. As well, who would you want to win? As they don't have to necessarily match up. But we have a 1-0 game here. Nice and tight going in to the final 5 minutes of this game. 5:19 to go in the third period of the IIHF World Championship gold medal game. Always a treat when you have a nice tight game, and this one has certainly lived up to expectations. So here we go. Here we go. So we'll see if the Swiss can sort of pull it off here. So all they need is a goal, right? As soon as they get a little bit of momentum, it can make a huge, huge difference in this game. Yossi, point shot, saved by Dostel. Nice little flipper into the mitt. Nice and easy save. That's all you need, right? Keeping it simple. Little over 5 minutes to go here as we enter the final 5 in this regulation third period of the gold medal game. We'll see if this game stays at 1-0. At what point will they pull the goaltender? Always an interesting one there. Oh, we do have another subscriber, so thank you, Eurovision Song from Sweden, for subscribing. I believe that now means that we are 1 subscriber away from 500 subscribers. So if you have not already, be sure to smash it, and let's see it be 500. Shot on net from the corner, misses wide. Here comes the Swiss. Great shot, and taken down in the corner. Here comes the Swiss. Czechs pick it back up. But Switzerland quickly gets on that shot in front and just wide of the net. Could not find it. Here comes Kevin Fiala now. Heischer down low in front. Oh, and popped straight up. Oh, and I do believe we have now hit 500 subscribers. So huge, huge thank you for getting us there. Oh no, I looked away for a split second. What we got? Are we at it? We have hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. So big, big thank you to everyone for subscribing. I guess this marks year 3 of this channel in a couple days. So huge thank you. If Czechs wins this game, I'd point that Polak over to the U.S. 100%. No name goalie. Yeah, it's always... The Americans entered the quarterfinals boasting the top 2 scorers, third player. They're also the highest scoring. Yeah, the truth is, though, about that is, as much as I would agree with you that the U.S. have the top scorers, they're the only team that will really run the score up on teams. Like, Canada would never run the score up. So the U.S. has that sort of reputation of doing that, nonetheless. 4:16 to go in the third period here. Going to be an interesting finish to this game. 27-23 in face-offs. 1 face-off in the offensive zone for the Czechs, or for Switzerland rather, in the Czech zone. We'll see here if the Swiss can get any sort of offense coming off this face-off draw. We saw, the Czechs scored their first goal off the face-off. We'll see if they can do the same here. Scramble draw off the top, but cleared out for the Swiss. Gioni will play the puck over to the defenseman as they will cycle up here. 4 minutes to go left in the third period of this gold medal game. Dumping it in for the Swiss into the Czech zone. Kept in by the Swiss defender. Now passed along. Here comes Spacek. No icing called there, although it very well could have been. Skukan comes up the ice for the Swiss. Dumps it in deep. Now chases. No one there for either team. Here's the Swiss. Shot and taken over. Oh, here comes Andre Palat. Oh, little fancy rinky-tink Pasternak with the shot. Saved by Gioni. Great save on that one. 3:12 to go in the third period here. Here comes Pasternak. Oh, and he gives a little punch with his right hand. That could have been a problem. 3 minutes to go in this third period. As the puck is in deep into the Czech zone, but it is cleared out. Here comes the Swiss collecting in the neutral zone as they change up. Not their star line yet. I think we have at least one more shift until Switzerland pulls their goaltender here. Should be an interesting one if they decide to do so. And here comes the Czechs. Sedlak, 2 in yesterday's game. Almost a third, but it was called off. It's a trip. No trip on that one. 2 minutes to go here. A little over 2:15 to go in the third period. And here comes the star players for Switzerland. We'll see if that goaltender ends up getting pulled. At what point will Gioni be pulled? 'Tis the question, as Switzerland will take their timeout with a little bit over, I believe, 2 minutes left to play in the game. If you are new here, this is going to be a good finish. So be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. We just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, so a big thank you to all of you for subscribing as well. It's going to be a great finish to this one. Czech crowd is in it. We talked about the problem. When you get that Czech crowd in it, they're going to be they help their team a lot. You know, I always compare it to the Leafs crowd. If the Leafs crowd is in it, it's game over for you. But at the same time, this Czech crowd is crucial. Crucial to be in this game, to be cheering their team on, to watch their Czech team make it, hopefully, to win the gold medal. Will be an interesting one here. So they will pull their goalie here. Switzerland with the empty net. 6-on-5. We will see what happens here. With just over 2 minutes to play, you have Kampf against Ambul in the faceoff dot. As Kampf wins the faceoff for the Czechs, cleared out, but kept in by the Swiss. No stick, as it's poked out. But 2 minutes to go in this third period. Here we go, right down to the wire. 1:52 to go. Cleared out. Oh no. Cleared out by Czechs, as Switzerland will get back for no icing. No icing was called on that. 1:40 to go in this third period. So it's cycled around the boards. Oh, and big hip check by the Czech defender. I assume that was Gudis, as the Czechs will ice the puck here with 1:26 remaining in the third period. If you are joining us, we have quite the game on hand. Two teams battling it out for the gold medal. 1-0 is your score, but really this game could have went either way. Lots of high-quality chances, highlighted by some excellent goaltending. A 1:26 left in the third period. Swiss with the empty netter. We'll see if they can find. Giosi. Blocked. Shot. No icing. Down into the Swiss zone as they will collect. 1:15 to go in the third period. Offside. 1:06 to go as, oh no, someone just pulled something. I think it might have been a little bit of, come on, I'm with you. I'm hoping for a little bit of overtime. It's always a treat when you get to overtime. So, I mean, to be honest, this game has been so back and forth. This one really is anyone's game. But nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting one here as we come to the very end of this one. Just over 1 minute, as we do have a timeout from the Czechs, from Czech, but I bet on draw. Well, there you go. Well, hopefully the Czechs can win it in overtime for you then. But the one player I will say to look for this Czech is, oh, they put out their second line. Oh, their goaltender is no longer pulled. That's why. So the goaltender has been unpulled. But I am a little curious because they've sat down their top line, which is supposed to be, should be out there with a minute left in the play. Oh, Distel for the empty net. Could not get it, as the Swiss did pull their goalie. As here comes the Swiss. 45 seconds to go. Dumped in. Here comes Switzerland. Jumps up high to keep the puck in, and it hits something. 40 seconds to go here. This is going to come down to the wire. Yeah. Wow, what a play. Just Andre Kasha just saved potentially potentially a penalty for Czechia for the delayed game. Huge play for him. We'll see now. Final minute to play. We have about 45 seconds left to go. Top line is back out for Switzerland. We'll see if they can find anything here. 39 seconds to go. It's going to come right down to the wire. Shot. Oh! Rebound saved. Here comes as Seisher collects. Back to the point. To Yossi. Yossi cycles. Fiala. To Yossi. Shot. Blocked. Cleared out for the Czechs. And wide open for the win. David Camp scores for Czechia. And they will win gold at the 2024 IIHF World Hockey Championship. What a game. What a game. As Czechia will win the IIHF World Championships at home. What a game. And that's how you do it. Diving play. And Kampf just tucks it in for the winner. What a game. What a game. Congrats to Czechia on a tournament well played. If we have to guess the good old fashioned or Prague Arena, good old fashioned Maple Leaf Square type is buzzing. So we have a 2-0 victory for Czechia over Switzerland. As we'll wait for this to run out. But man, what a game. And that's what you want to see from a they are gonna, so Switzerland's gonna go for it, right? As they should. As they very well should. I think Dostal is probably the obvious candidate here for Kasha, Palat. As Switzerland does win the draw, moves it up. And here it comes. They're going to kill this out. Shoot it. Okay, 10 seconds to go here. We are just about out of time in this. What a game. Frankly, I mean, it's been quite the tournament for the Czechs. You look at their track record, right? They beat the big bad USA in game 1. They beat the undefeated Sweden in game 2. And they beat the red-hot Switzerland in game 3 to win it all. And it just sort of goes to show, right? Doesn't matter how you start the tournament. It's all about how you finish. And, I mean, they certainly found a way to finish well. So, huge congrats to Czechia, to their home fans who are extremely happy right now, as you can probably tell. But, nonetheless, what a tournament for Czechia. And Lucas Dostal, who will likely be in a much more starting role in the upcoming year. With that, Czechia is your 2024 World Hockey Champions of the world. Huge win for them on home ice. What a game, what a tournament, and what a story. Czechia wins gold. Wow, what a game. And to be honest, that's exactly what you want from a gold medal game. It's exactly what you need. And I mean, just a really solid game all around. As Czechia will take this one by a score of 2-0 over Switzerland, who are in shock. You think back to all the medals, all the stories. Absolutely, it was a great game overall. It's It's obviously a tough loss for the Swiss, who were right there the entire game, right? One goal. We talked about it. It's the problem with it is one goal changes the entire complexity of a hockey game. And we saw with that Pastrnak goal, right? All it takes is one goal, one hit, one play to change an entire series, to change an entire game, especially on home ice. And there you go. Yep, good game. Absolutely. It was a great game. Well played. And, yeah, just one of those games, right, where it's always a tough one. Always a tough one to lose it. Who are they? Oh, they're naming the awards right now. So I think, I didn't hear it exactly. Yeah, which makes sense. They're just naming all their all the awards and stuff, which all makes sense. I mean, you look at it, right? Gioni was, if I still stand by, if Switzerland would have won this game, you know, you might have even argued Gioni for that MVP of the goalie, but unfortunately for them, you know, the Czechs took it in this one. Pastrnak with a huge goal, always shows up in those big moments when you need him to, and he's a big reason why they got to where they are, right? So, with that being said, it's been quite the game. We will have the full recap video talking about all of the tournament coming up, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But with that, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. If you'd like to drop a like, if you realize you're subscribing, tell all your friends, and let me know your thoughts on